They say everything's bigger in Texas. Some things are smaller in Ireland. So with Shane McGowan's little teeth looking over my shoulder, we're making Irish soda bread. And now, Irish soda bread is not an authentic Irish recipe. It's not something that came from the old country. It was actually something that was created and developed here in the United States. If you want to learn more, stay tuned till after the cooking portion, and I'm going to give you a little history lesson on it. But Irish soda bread's what we're making today. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite breads ever, after a couple of other breads. But it's one of my top breads. It's delicious, so let's get it done. We're going to start off with our wet stuff. 1 2/3 cup of buttermilk, to which we're going to add 1 liquid chicken. Get yourself a whisk and beat it like it owes you money. You want that fully mixed up. That buttermilk has acid, and that's going to help leaven this bread. We're not using yeast today, kids. Get it fully mixed and set it off to the side. Mixy, 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 mixy. Mixy. All right, dry stuff. 480 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon or 9 grams of kosher salt, 1.5 teaspoons or 9 grams of baking soda, 4 tablespoons or 50 grams of sugar, 1 cup of raisins. Don't forget the raisins, they're the best part. Make sure you get them all in there. Get a whisk and you want to mix this thoroughly. You want all of the ingredients to be properly and thoroughly dispersed. Now we're going to add butter, 4 tablespoons or 57 grams of very cold butter that has been cubed. In my case, I chilled it a little too far and it's freaking frozen, so I'm having a tough time with it. No worries, this is kind of like a biscuit. So kind of break up the butter if you can. You want like pea-sized granules is what you're looking for. Make a well in the middle and then pour in your eggy buttermilk mixture. Get it in there, get yourself a spatula. Buy it at Spatula City, and you want to kind of fold this together. You don't want to whisk it because it's going to form a dough, but you want to kind of fold it together. You want all the flour to be wet. It doesn't necessarily have to be kneaded. You actually don't want to knead this, and you want it to look like that. Once you have that, you're going to flour your work surface, just like that. Now we're going to put our big glob of dough right on top of that. You should probably sprinkle some on the top, which I did not do because, I forget things. But we want to get this all out, and then we kind of want to form our round loaf. Get it all out. Waste not, want not, you know what I mean? So you should flour your hands because this bad boy's sticky. You should flour the top. Again, I didn't do that, but, you live, you learn. I'll just give it a flip because, why not? There's dough on the flour on the bottom. May as well just put it on the top, right? That didn't work out so well. So make sure you well flour everything. We're going to transfer that onto a baking dish that has a nice piece of parchment. You don't have to grease it. You can leave it dry. I have a little grease on the bottom just so it sticks. But anyway, you want to form it into a little, bread round. Now take a knife and you want that cross-shaped pattern on the top because that's traditional. It's going to open up, allow this bad boy to expand. Again, it's very sticky, so make sure you flour up your knife, not like I did. Always remember the things you forget. All right, 425-degree oven for 30 minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I promised you a history lesson, and I deliver on my promises, so here it is. You have been lied to. I have been lied to. We've all been lied to. Irish soda bread is not from Ireland. I know, it's crushing, it's heartbreaking, but it's not. I mean, there are ties to the Irish people. Irish immigrants, who came from Ireland, that came here to the United States, basically stole the recipe from the Native Americans. I mean, there's nothing more American than that, am I right? So the Native Americans would use potash, which was a, chemically speaking, basic substance, and they would mix that in with their bread flour, and they would use an acidic substance, be it buttermilk or vinegar or something with some acidity to it. Bases and acids are opposite ends of the spectrum. When you mix them together, they foam up. You do that in a bread, and you make the bread rise without any yeast. It's actually an ingenious concept, especially back then when there was very little understanding of the chemistry of it. One thing that is true and is an absolute truth, it is absolutely delicious. It's very easy to make, and it's almost ready to come out of the oven. So we're going to go take it out of the oven. Thank you so much for sticking around through my happy little history lesson. This has been Sugar, Salt, Fat, and History. I guess we made history because I just recorded it. Anyway, let's pull this bad boy out of the oven. This is what you're looking for right there. It's beautiful. It smells so good. Let it cool for a few minutes, then transfer it to a wire rack with your parchment. And then you're going to let it cool for a minute, and then you're going to transfer it onto the wire rack. And you want to let it cool down to the point where it's just barely warm. You don't want it hot or it's going to fall apart. You need it to cool down to kind of finish sticking together. And then once it's just at the point of being barely warm, now you can cut it. Look at this. Right through. Look at that. Oh, I really do love this. Make sure you use good Irish butter, too, just because, why not? Look at that. Look how pretty that is. I'm going to cut this one in half because, this was kind of wide loaf. Look at that. Oh, it's so good. Now we're going to slather it with some butter. Just like that. It looks so nice. Oh. All right, I'm getting a little too excited. Let's move on. Let's stuff this in our faces. Now that's crummy. That's what the inside of the bread's called. It's called crumb. And it's perfect, and it's delicious, and it's topped with some Irish butter, which is also delicious. It's got that sweet pop from the raisins, and the butter is just the most amazing butter ever. This is delicious. So there you go. Irish soda bread. Incredibly easy, not authentically Irish, but authentically delicious. Make this coming St. Patrick's Day. Make it anytime you want. It's a great thing to have for breakfast. But then again, it's so easy to make. Why don't we make this year-round? Why do we only make this for St. Patrick's Day? Make it. It's delicious. If you like this video, if you want to drop a comment down, tell me how I did, tell me your recipe or what I did wrong, drop that down in the comments. You want to tell me I suck? Drop that down in the comments. You want to give me a suggestion of something to cook? I take requests. Drop it down in the comments. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell thingy dingy. Hit that like button a lot. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.